Hello, Reverend MeeLing, Reverend Susan MeeLing, Lady Dori, Belle, Susan MeeLing. I've been known by a couple of names. So one day, it was many, many years ago, back in 2008, I was in the middle of dealing with a whole bunch of stuff before dealing with a whole bunch of other stuff. A whole bunch more. And I had been in the car listening to the radio, and I heard that there was this movie that was coming out. And I was like, oh. And I had remembered that there was news about this particular actor who had died the exact same day as my now dead ex-husband, of 3 of the same barbiturates that my dead ex-husband died of. And I thought to myself, it's a weird oddity. I think I want to see that movie. And for me, to want to see a movie is very rare. I mean, usually there has to be something that gets me to actually want to see it. I'm not the type of person who actually is, I have to see this, I have to. It's more along the lines of, if I have to see a movie, it's rare. Like, for example, the only movies I have willingly gone to see 9 times out of 10 after my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 had been for my children. Irony in certain regards. So as far as, my son and my daughter were concerned, we had seen several movies in the theater, such as, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and there were a few others, Disney and Pixar movies. And I was like, okay, After that, then there was also that I wanted to see. I have to specify that I wanted to see. Because my now dead ex-husband, when he was alive, he wanted to see, the Star Wars that came out. I was like, I don't want to see that. And he was like, no, it'll be great. Well, I was pregnant with my son, and I didn't want to see that. Or maybe I was pregnant with my daughter. I was pregnant, I know that, and just no. And then the other movie he wanted to see Castaway. It's like, I'm pregnant. I don't want to see that movie. Well, why not? Because it looks like it's going to be a long movie. And I didn't read anything up on it at the time. It was a very long movie. It was a very long movie. To be pregnant? Are you kidding me? And to go, no offense to the actors and actresses in that film, I was pregnant. And then I had to deal with conversations because I got up to go to the bathroom. Because what pregnant female has to go to the bathroom randomly? Every one of them. And so, it is what it is. However, the movies that I wanted to see, but mainly my children wanted to see, had to been Disney and Pixar movies. Okay, cool. I could watch those, although I learned that there is a difference between 3D movies and regular movies when it comes to my headaches and migraines. I learned that the hard way, by accident, completely. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, that's an example, because of the whole sunlight being in the way of trying to order the tickets and stuff when I'm there. And so, after that, as far as stuff was going on, I wanted to see, I wanted to see Lone Survivor. I wanted to see that movie. I did. I wanted to see that. For a bunch of different reasons. A whole bunch. And then I had also wanted to see the Dinesh D'Souza documentary. The one, I think I saw Hillary's America as well. but I saw the one before that. I can't remember what it's called. But I had to see that. And so I did. I dealt with the after effects of that, especially since those 2 or 3 movies were when I was living in Washington State. So I really dealt with the after effects of that. However, going back to the first movie that I was like, I kind of need to see that for myself, like those other movies. Whereas the Disney and Pixar movies, I'll admit it, I enjoyed them, but mainly were for my son and my daughter. No denying that. I mean, even when in Washington State, my son and I watched Finding Dory, which is kind of an irony when it comes to that one, especially since my son had figured out that I was like the character of Dori, despite not having known my lifestyle scene name on that life. Because I had gone to a ice cream shop with my son and my daughter before everything really hit the fan. And irony of ironies, I was with a former Marine, but once a Marine, always a Marine, and his name Skabuda. I gave him the name Skabuda. And I know I'm getting away from that one point, but I will come back around to that. If you've watched prior videos, you know that this will come back around to the original point. So, as we're at the ice cream shop, you know, Skabuda, or Billy, is like, oh, you can get as many times. No, they cannot. No, they cannot. Do not lie to my son and my daughter. You can have 2 total. You can have ice cream and you can have 2 toppings. And no, whipped cream does not count. But, you know, you can have 2 total. 2 toppings. And Skabuda was like, oh, what type of mom are you? I look at him, I go, the type of mom who is watching you attempt to over sugar my children before we go on an hour car ride back to my house before dinner, and then before they have to go to bed. That is the type of mom I am, who is not going to allow that because I know better. And no, because I'm mom and you don't get to make that decision. I make that decision. And Skabuda was just like, okay. I was like, yeah, that's right. That's right, you know. Okay. So my son and my daughter get their ice cream and what toppings they want and stuff like that. We go and we sit down. And Skabuda goes, go and sit on the inside. And I look at him, I'm like, why? I want to sit on the outside. He's like, I have something I want to talk about. I'm like, I don't like where that's going. You should be wanting the wall, remember? I mean, I have no problem with my back against the wall and like looking out. Believe me when I say that. I actually prefer that. However, I have a feeling. And he's like, yeah, could you just sit on the inside, please? Fine. He's just, he laughed, and I laughed, of course. And my son and my daughter are already eating their ice cream. They're just like, yay, ice cream, yay. Ice cream is great. So I sit down, and I scoot over, and Skabuda sits down next to me, and he's just like, do you like the ice cream I got you? And I look at him, and I'm like, why are you asking about children then? Why are you asking it like that? Why? Why are you asking that like that? And he goes, come on, it's gonna be fun. Whose definition of fun? And he's just, come on, just let me have this. And then he goes, You wouldn't let me give them all the ice cream I want. I'm mom. Yeah, but so he goes back to talking with my children. Do you like the ice cream? And both of them are like, yes, yes, we like the ice cream. It's great. I'm looking at him like, best watch it. Don't think that just because I have my back against the wall that I can't hurt you. Don't make that mistake. And he looked at me and goes, yeah, sure. Boy, you don't know. You might tough through it, but you go hard. You go hard. So he continues to ask, and he's like, so do you like the toppings that your mom would only allow you to have 2 each? Really? Really? And so my children, yeah, it's great. I love my gummy bears. I like the sprinkles. Yay, ice cream. So then Skabuda is like, so have you seen any kids movies? And I look at him and I'm like, where is this going? I do not understand where this is going. And both of them, of course, are like, yeah, we like kids movies because we're kids. Skabuda. Or Mr. Billy, that's it. And so my children, they're just, yay, ice cream, yay, ice cream. They just, anybody who has seen children with ice cream, it doesn't take a head injury to figure out how happy they were. And so, realistically. And so I'm eating my ice cream as everybody, what are you doing? And so Skabuda goes, so, there's this movie I saw recently. Looking at him. And at that point, Skabuda kind of turns to the side a little bit, and he's like, don't eyeball me. I know you are setting something up, so I'm going to eyeball you all I feel like. Don't you tell me not to eyeball you when I'm going to eyeball you anyway. And so Skabuda goes on and explains, saw this movie, and it's about this particular, character who, no matter what happens, she's just so well-intentioned. She's a little forgetful. I have no idea what he's talking about, by the way. If I had seen the movie, I didn't remember it. I think I did. I just didn't remember it. With my children in the movie theater, nonetheless, I forget. Probably that head injury thing. And so she had an injury, and she's so well-intentioned, and she's sweet, and he's not giving many hints beyond that. My children are just eating their ice cream, and he goes, and yeah, she's so helpful, she is so nice, and she's funny, and sometimes people don't believe her, or other whatever don't believe her, blah 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 blah. I'm just looking at him like, where is this going? Where are you taking this? And he starts turning his back a little bit more like, don't eyeball me. I'm going to eyeball you until I know where this is going. So Skabuda, or Billy, continues going on about, this character, how, just tries to help find different things and help care about, somebody else's child, but, has her own stuff going on and on and on and on. I'm just, what is this about? And my son and my daughter are just eating their ice cream. They're listening to Skabuda. And at some point, my son pops his head up and he goes, "My mom is Dori." And my first thought was, how did he know? How did he know? Did I have the laptop open? Because of my FetLife name, Lady Dori Belle. I had it in reference initially because there is actually a ship called a Dori. There is actually a naval vessel called a Dori. And started kicking him under the table because I was like, what? I don't know what this is. I'm mad right now. I'm mad. My son looks at me, he's like, "Mom, you're Dori." And in my thoughts, I am still going off of the aspects of, that is an adult website. How do you know that? And not realizing or remembering that there is literally a children's movie called Finding Nemo at that time, and one of the characters being named Dori. And afterwards, Skabuda had to explain to me, it's a good thing. I don't know about that, because he didn't know at that time that I had been involved with the lifestyle yet. And it was just one of those, I don't know about that. I'm gonna kick you under the table because I'm mad at you right now. I'm so mad at you. I'm so mad at you. I'm so mad at you. And both my children at that point, my son and my daughter, oh yeah, she's always trying to help people. And yeah, she has the best of intentions. And she does all these good things. And I'm there and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I can stop kicking you, Skabuda. I guess I can stop now. I guess. And so fast forward to when in Washington State, and there was the movie Finding Dory that came out. I had not remembered the ice cream. I mean, I did, but not when the movie came out. And I was like, hey James, you want to go do something together? And he was like, well, I mean, I got my friends at high school, and I got that. I'm like, well, come on. Let's watch a movie. You want to watch a movie? Well, yeah, because there's like this Finding Dory movie. And, there's something about fish in there. So come on. And he looked at me, and he goes, what did you say, Mom? And I was like, yeah, there's a movie called Finding Dory. And he goes, yeah, we'll watch that movie, Mom. Now, mind you, I had already wrote Finding a Silver Lining. And Finding the Silver Lining at that time. And so, and my children both, by the way, at the ice cream shop, they were like, yeah, we saw it at camp too, because it was raining one day, and, they played the movie on the TV, and I was just, oh, well, it's a kid's movie, cool, no problem. So, my son and I, again, fast forwarding past the ice cream shop, son and I are watching Finding Dory, and my son just keeps looking back and forth at the screen and then at me, just, Mom? Yes? What do you think, handsome man? And he's just, after this movie, I'm gonna go read. Oh, you always read. That's cool. I read that you... Yeah. He keeps doing this. Just, Finding Dory. I found her. What'd you say, handsome? Mom, yes, handsome. Oh. my God, what, handsome man? And he's just, Mom, so let's watch Finding Dory. Okay. Ironies. Not that I had forgotten my name. I just was dealing with a whole bunch of pain, and so to watch a movie in Washington State, no matter how it was watched, it just hurt. And so I was like, I'm spending time with my son. Yay. Yeah, I understand the oddities in that. I get it. Ish. And so, irony. Ish. Anyway, so my son and I finished watching Finding Dory, the movie, and afterwards, after the movie's over, he looks at me and he goes, Mom? And I go, yes, handsome. He goes, what was that fish that you wanted to see in the Georgetown Aquarium? Oh, the whale shark. The whale shark, the little baby whale shark. Mom, a whale shark is not little. Yeah, but maybe. Wouldn't it be cool if we could have an aquarium in the backyard, and like I could go up to the little whale shark and be like, "Who's a little whale shark?" And she's a little baby, and he's like, "Mom, a whale shark is not little." Yes, they are. They're so little in the snout. Kind of like how you think a killer whale is a little baby. Yes. Oh my God, Mom. Yes, handsome. What? What? I've never seen his eyes so round. And I look at him like, what, handsome? So, Mom? Yes. What happened when you went scuba diving? Which time are you talking about? Have you ever seen any fish when you went scuba diving? Of course I did, handsome man. That's part of scuba diving. The only time I didn't see a fish was when I was in the pool. Duh. And what happened? Well, depending on the fish. If it was an okay fish to be around, I'd be cool. But if it was a fish that, I had to inform that they needed to get back, I let the fish know that they needed to get back and not mess with the scuba divers I was with. We just watched Finding Dory, Mom. Yes, what about it? And you told fish what to do. Yes. What's the big deal? Do you remember the movie we just watched? It's called Finding Dory. What about it? I don't know if I told you, James. I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. I deal with headaches and migraines, and I have some memory and cognitive issues, and I went from college algebra with trigonometry and calculus to second grade math. So you're going to kind of have to be a little more specific. Mom, we just watched the movie. Uh-huh. I'm in a lot of pain, so you're going to have to be a little more specific. Did anybody ever believe you when you said you could speak with fish? And at that time, I don't remember. And he was like, oh my God. Yes, James. What can I do for you? I love you. Similarly to the video game, where never have to play a video game with me. Yeah, I love you. You taught me a lesson I did not realize. Oh, I love you too, handsome. You sure handsome. Look at those ears. What's the issue, James? Oh my God, Mom. Yes. What? I'm gonna go read some books. 2 in particular. Oh? What books are you gonna read? Yours! Oh, you're gonna read my books? Yeah, I'm gonna reread them. And I'm gonna reread them, and I'm gonna reread them, and I'm gonna reread them. Do you have to reread them that many times? Right now? Yep. I sure do. Okay. I love you. I know you do, Mom. I love you too. Oh, he's such a good handsome man. Because at that time he was shorter than me. Now he's taller than me. But yeah, you good handsome man. I'm gonna go read those books right now, Mom. Okay. I learned something from the movie. Oh, you did? What did you learn? That was his look. Oh my God, Mom. Well, what did you learn? Yes, what did you learn? To help people. Well, that's good. That's good. It's a good lesson to learn. Yes, it is. That's all he did. Just. Oh my God. Yes, handsome. What? Oh my God. Yes. What can I do? What, handsome? I learned the lesson. I'm going to help people. And I love you. Oh my God. Yes, I love you too. You just me. Oh, okay. Okay. And so he walked out of the room that I was kept in at that time. And he walked on the other side of the door and he looks at me and goes, I love you, Mom. And I love you too, handsome man. Oh my God. Yes, handsome. What can I do for you? That's what he did. I'm gonna read some books, Mom. You go do that. You're so smart. Oh my God. Yes, James. What can I do for you? He then looks over at my now ex-boyfriend, who was at the computer desk on the other side of the wall, and he kind of does the eyeballing thing, and I'm like, James, you okay? And my son goes to, I love you. I love you so much. I love you too. You're my little handsome man. I love you. Love you too. I'm going to go read some books. Okay. And so, then my now ex-boyfriend yells, shut the door! And so James gave me another hug, and I'm like, I love you. Yeah, I'm gonna. And that's what he did. He looked over at my now ex-boyfriend, Jesse, and and I'm like, whoa, I love you, And he shut the door. And he ran up the stairs. Oh, that was a fun time with my son. I got to watch Finding Dory. That's such a cute movie. I'm gonna go look at my map so that way I can work on my Medal of Honor art project. That was some fun time with my son. I got to watch Finding Dory. That's an interesting little thing. It's so weird that he got some like from a Disney movie, but okay. I'm gonna go watch. I'm gonna go think about my Medal of Honor art project and plan the next aspects. Look at that map and just figure out that sort of stuff. It's just hi. Apparently. So, you know. I really am not scuba diving. And stuff. And the state of Texas. Isn't it funny that in the movie Finding Dory they use seashells that kind of look like the Shell sign from the gas station? I don't remember seeing any Shell signs in Washington State. But I see them all over the place in the state of Texas. Anyway. So going back to time of 2008 and that Heath Ledger guy and you know, there was this movie that he was in that came out, and my Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kirkendall Jr., who is into that Mad Max thing, I had told him, you know, hey, I kind of want to see a movie. And Cactus Jack got all excited. He's like, oh, you're finally coming over to the dark side. And I was like, what? I don't know what that means. He's like, no, we can do this so we can see all these movies. No, I said a movie. I said a movie. I wanted to see a movie. Not a bunch of movies. Just a movie. And he asked why did I want to see the movie. I said, well, apparently there was a guy named Heath Ledger who died the same day as my dead ex-husband. And Cactus Jack looks at me and he goes, yeah, it's the Batman movie. And I was like, yeah, I kind of want to see that. And he goes, okay, well, you know, I'll look up times and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, all right, whatever. So get it squared away where my children are taking care of all that stuff, and go to the Palladium in the Dominion to go see the Batman movie. And I'm watching the movie and I'm dealing with the pain from that because of the type of screen and stuff like that. I'm just like, okay. What is it? So then a single line comes out of the movie. And it was from the butler, who, when the character Batman said something in reference to why are certain people so evil. And the butler tells a story about Burma. and then said that some people just want to watch the world burn. And Batman said something along the lines of, like, gotta stop people like that, or something like that. I'm sure you can research that particular aspect. So that was the only thing. Not that there wasn't any other portion of the movie that I paid attention to, but that was, it's like, okay, well, that's what I needed to know, and that makes sense to my now dead ex-husband. That makes perfect sense for his personality and certain other aspects of what he had done and people that are like him. Okay, that makes sense. And similar to him. More similar than like. And so, go to Jim's restaurant. The same Jim's restaurant on I-10 in Huebner that my now dead ex-husband had said he quit the army at because he ripped stickers off of his car. You don't quit the army. You can't quit the army. That's not how that goes. Ever. And so we were there with a bunch of people, meaning Cactus Jack and I, and some other people, and they were like, oh, what'd you think of Batman, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, and so one of the people asks me, did you like the movie? It was a great movie, right? The cinematography, this, that, and the other. And I'm just, I deal with headaches, so, I was mainly listening more so than watching. And they all start talking about how scary the Joker was. I'm sitting there and I'm listening and I'm like, yeah, there were some scary things he did. No denying that. But, like, I'm not understanding why there's, like, such a whatever in that regard. And everyone was like, oh, he was so scary, he was so scary, he was so scary. And in my thoughts, I'm only remembering that the actor had died the same day as my dead ex-husband. So that is my comparison, where it's like, yeah, comparatively, And so I asked the group, I'm like, well, what was the scariest thing you thought that the Joker in the movie had done? And they were like, oh, when he burned the huge pile of money. That was scary to you? Yes, it was so scary. Okay. What about you? And they all give their interpretations of what the scariest thing they thought that the Joker had done. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, so not like what he did to the female, not what he did to the main male characters in that movie, just what he did to the money. Was basically what the majority of them were complaining about, that he had burned a whole bunch of money. That was like their scariest thought of that portion. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, well, and I gave the explanation in reference to Heath Ledger, the actor, and then, my now dead ex-husband. And I was just unable to see how the comparison could be, just from my personal experiences. I was like, and so I explained that portion of the reason why I wanted to see the movie, and that sort of stuff. And I said, the only people that realistically could hate the Joker would be the Batman character, because of, what he did to torment the Batman character, and then the Two-Face guy. And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, what happened to his face because of the Joker? Like, maybe there's plastic surgery that can fix that, but, realistically, those are the only two characters that can truthfully hate the Joker along with the Commissioner. Other than that, I'm not seeing the big deal as to what is so scary about the Joker. And everybody was just silent. Just silent. And they were like, you just read too much into that. It's like, I mean, I didn't go see the movie for any other reason than because the guy who plays the character the Joker died the same day as my dead ex-husband. And if you were to ever find out what my dead ex-husband put me through, you would understand why there was nothing realistically that scary, with the exception of what I said to be something to be mad at. And so, realistically, that's my opinion. And if you want to tell me that my opinion of that is wrong, well then that is your opinion, not mine. And they just kind of, oh, that was so creepy how you said that. Wait. I might say something even creepier. I prefer not to. I prefer to be happy. And they just all went, ooh, that was scary. And I was just, if that scared you, if words simply scared you, what is that like? And the group of them were just, what do you mean? What is that like that only words can scare you? How sheltered of a life have you lived if you really think that the scariest thing after all that was just a few words that came out of my mouth? And every one of them were just, oh, shit. And I looked over at Cactus Jack and I said, you know some of what my dead ex-husband did to me. A very minute amount, by the way. Would you compare? And he kind of looked at me, and he kind of looked at the group, and he goes, actually, yeah, she's actually, she's right. Because of the comparison between her dead ex-husband and the character, the Joker, and the correlation, because yeah, they did die on the same day. And everyone in the group was just, that is kind of a weird sign. And I looked at them and was like, so the only thing I really got out of the movie for myself was, some people just want to watch the world burn, and that needs to be stopped and not be allowed. So, in reference to my Medal of Honor art project and some of the things that occurred during my Medal of Honor art project trips and over the years, I guess cherubim fit that description. And I had to stop my Medal of Honor art project, or I should say pause my Medal of Honor art project to keep the world safe, or, well, yeah, the world safe because of various aspects that have occurred since, and the irony of that dichotomy. Now, I will also add that my ex, Joey Estes, of the couple Meg and Joey Estes, from the time of early 2012, Joey's favorite character was the Joker. I had purchased a costume for his birthday of the Joker. And after breaking up, one of the things he said before like the last talk was, "I'm never going to wear the outfit you got me." And I looked at him and said, "Okay, I don't recommend it anyway." And he said, "Why? Why would you do that? Why would you say that?" I said, "Well, Joey, you don't want to become like that guy now, do you? Because if you become like that character or that guy, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy." At least in reference to, you know, how you'll be a villain. And you won't do anything that's technically all that scary. But at some point, you will be stopped. And most likely, it'll be someone that you didn't see coming. In the dark of the night. And he just, "Whatever, I'll do what I want. I'll do whatever I want." I don't really care. I'm not taking the costume back from you. And not like I know anybody who would want it anyway from you. And Joey was just, "Oh, blah, blah, blah." I don't care. I don't care at all. The relationship is over. And then a few other talking points, aspects. And Meg just watched back and forth like, is this really happening? Is this really happening? Is this happening? This is happening. This is happening. Okay. Okay. And I was like, whatever. You don't want to see me pissed off. So I'm going to just stop that. And before Joey ran to the room and stuff, he was just, "Well, what if I do want to see what you're like pissed off?" I highly recommend that you don't. I highly recommend that you do not push. You don't ever want to see me pissed off. It is better that I am a friend. At minimum, an acquaintance. You definitely do not want to make me your enemy. Ever. If you choose that, that is a path that I highly recommend against. Because if you were going to choose that path, then I guess it's befitting that you like the Joker instead of the Batman. And a few more words, and then Joey wound up going to the bed to cry. And I was just like, I don't have patience with it. But yeah, so for those who are offended easily by words, what's that like? I mean, I can't relate to that. Because I've been through a few things where it's very difficult to relate to words being the only thing to upset or offend. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff to my official YouTube channel, Reverend MeeLing. Go to my website, www.susanmeeling.com. You guys have a good one.